Hi YouTube, it's me, the Shy Pianist, or you may know me as Donald of Zephyr War Games, bringing you an updated Spellbook Prophecy deck profile for you guys. So, of course, if you've seen the banned list, we now finally got Spellbook of Judgment back. So, I've been requested by Dale to make an updated deck profile for you guys and to try and make it as competitive as possible for you guys to play at home. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. And first and foremost, yes, these are the standard size sleeves that I've always played the deck in. So, apologies on that. But that's how my decks usually are for the most part. Anyway, let's crack straight into it. So, first and foremost, you are playing Spellbook of Magician of Prophecy at 3. It's for all you new players who don't know about Spellbooks. Spellbook Magician here, when it's normal, summoned, or flipped face up, add one Spellbook card from your deck to hand. So, effectively, your monster, your searcher for the deck. Next, we are playing 2 Temperance of Prophecy. So, Temperance, during your main phase, if you have activated a Spellbook card previously this turn, you can tribute this card, special summon one level 5 or higher light or dark spellcaster type monster from your deck. You cannot special summon another level 5 or higher during the turn you activate this effect. So basically, if you activate a Spellbook card in the normal summon, you can then use the effect to tribute and special summon out one of your big boss monsters, or if you have already if she's already faced on the field and then you activate a Spellbook card, that also works as well. Next, we are playing 2 Justice of Prophecy. The camera focuses. Justice is during the end phase of every turn in which you activate a Spellbook card, a Spellbook spell card. You can banish this card from the field, add both one level 5 or higher light or dark spellcaster type monster, and one Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect, use the effect of Justice of Prophecy once per turn. So it's effectively a on summon you play the Spellbook card, normal summon, go to end phase, banish, and then add 2 cards from her effect. Right, so the high-level spellcasters we're playing for the deck, we are playing the 1 World of Prophecy and the 2 High Priestess of Prophecy. So World of Prophecy, when this card is special summoned by the effect of a spellcaster type monster or a Spellbook spell card, you can target 2 Spellbook cards in your graveyard, add those targets to your hand. You cannot special summon other monsters during the turn you activate this effect. And the second effect is when you add this card, when you add cards to your hand by this effect, you can reveal 4 Spellbook spell cards with different names in your hand, destroy all other cards on the field. And High Priestess of Prophecy is you can reveal 3 Spellbook spell cards in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, you can banish 1 Spellbook spell card from your hand or graveyard, then target 1 card on the field, destroy that target. So, to summarize, your World of Prophecy is your recursion, as well as mainly the board nuke, and High Priestess is a great body to just freely summon on the field and gain a free pop per turn, each turn. Lastly, we have the one Jalgun. This is the card that you generally special summon off with Spellbook of Judgment. So for all of you who don't know, Jalgun, you can discard a random card from your hand to the graveyard, destroy all special summoned monsters on the field. But the second effect, neither player can special summon monsters, is why it's really good in Spellbooks to just go end phase with Judgment, special summon this out, grab a whole bunch of Spellbook cards and pass turn. For the other monsters, I was going to mention is 2 Ash. This is going to be it's supposed to be to go along with your 2 Imperm as mainly like your hand trap options. But yeah, 2 Ash. These can be anything you really want for hand trap wise. On to the spells. The main spell of the deck, Spellbook of Secrets. This is, well, add 1 Spellbook card from your deck to hand, except itself. And you're going to activate 1 Spellbook of Secrets per turn. So this is the main searcher, the one you want to see, as well as Spellbook Magician. Next, we have two Spellbook of the Master. So Master is if you control a Spellcaster type monster, you can reveal one other Spellbook card in your hand, then target one Spellbook normal spell in your graveyard except itself, and this card's effect becomes the target's effect. You can only activate one Spellbook of the Master per turn. So the way this works is that because Master copies the effect and doesn't count towards the activation, you can basically play Secrets, search one, then play Master while you control a Spellcaster, reveal the one you added with Secrets, and then copy Secrets effect to then effectively search again. Next, we have the two Spellbook of Eternity. So Eternity targets one of your banished Spellbook spell cards, except itself, add that target to your hand. You can only activate one Spellbook of Eternity per turn. So the way that this generally works is that you summon out your Priestess, and you play Secrets, you start searching, you end up searching this, you banish with Priestess effect to pop a card, and then you activate Eternity to go and grab that back to your hand. But more importantly, the next card, I would play two Spellbook of Fate. I've only got the one copy for the longest time, simply because in a fun sense, I feel like playing one is fine. If you're playing in a competitive sense, I would definitely highly recommend playing this at least at 2, if not 3. So, Spellbook of Fate, if you control a Spellcaster type monster, you can banish up to 3 Spellbook spell cards from your graveyard, then apply this effect, depending on the number of spell cards banished for this card's activation. You can only activate one Spellbook of Fate per turn. So if you banish one, you can return one set spell or trap on the field back to hand, so that's a non-target. Change one monster on the field to face down defense position or face up attack position, again, non-target. But lastly, if you banish 3, banish one card your opponent controls, non-target. So it's the best interruption for the deck. And then you can then just reoccur your banished Spellbook cards with Spellbook of Eternity. Alright, on to the one-ofs now. First and foremost, we can welcome Spellbook of Judgment back to the deck. So, for you who don't know what this busted card does, allow me to explain it. During the end phase of this turn, this card was activated. Add Spellbook spell cards from your deck to hand, except Spellbook of Judgment, up to the number of spell cards activated after this card's resolution. Then you can special summon from your deck one Spellcaster type monster whose level is less than or equal to the number of cards added to your hand by this effect. You can only activate one Spellbook of Judgment per turn. So what this basically means is you activate this first, it resolves, and then you proceed to play your Secrets, then play your Master, play your like Eternity and every other like Spellbook cards, and then proceed to end phase, special summon out your generally like Jalgun, and then add like 3 to like 7 cards depending on the number of Spellbook cards you've activated. It's just that easy. Cool. So for the other one of Spellbook cards, now I generally was playing like multiple copies of Tower, Starhawk, Life, Power, and Knowledge. This was because in that build you're a lot more casual to play, but seeing as you can now search these Spellbook cards, and that's sort of to utilize this as utility rather than the main focus, I've cut these to 1. So to explain what they all do, for you players who don't know, so starting with this Grand Spellbook Tower. So once per turn during your standby phase, if you have a Spellcaster type monster on your field, side of field, or in your graveyard, you can return one Spellbook spell card from your deck, from your graveyard to the bottom of your deck, except itself, then draw one card. When this card is destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to your graveyard, you can special summon one spellcaster type monster from your hand or deck whose level is less than or equal to the number of Spellbook spell cards in your graveyard. Spellbook Start Hall. Each time a Spellbook card is activated, place one spell counter on this card. All spellcaster type monsters you control gain 100 attack for each spell counter on this card. When this card with spell counters is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add one spellcaster type monster from your deck to your hand, whose level is less than or equal to the number of spell counters that were on this card. So effectively, these are like your recruiters for your spellcaster type monsters. Spellbook of Power. Target one face-up spellcaster you control. Until the end phase, it gains 1000 attack. Also, until the end phase, each time it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add one spellcaster you can add one Spellbook spell card from your deck to your hand. You can only activate one per turn. So the idea is you buff up your world or your priestess with power, get over something, and then get to search from the effect of power effectively. And if you copied it with master, you basically get two searches from that effect effectively, because master then copies power in that sense. The one Spellbook of Life, this is your monster reborn effectively. Banish one spellcaster type monster from your graveyard and reveal one other Spellbook card in your hand. To target one spellcaster type monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in face up attack position and equip it with this card. The equipped monster level is increased by the level of the monster that was banished for this card's activation. You can only activate one Spellbook of Life per turn. Effectively, you're reborn. Now, I'm only playing one Spellbook of Knowledge because I would highly recommend playing Pot of Extravagance, or no, Pot of Prosperities if you have them, and Extravagance as a close-up second, but depending on, ideally, these are supposed to be Pot of Prosperities. So, Spellbook of Knowledge is send to the graveyard either one spellcaster monster you control or one other spellbook card from your hand or face up from your field, except itself, and if you do, draw two cards. Now, the reason why, again, to clarify, one knowledge, because if you play 3 Pot of Prosperity, that's what these are supposed to be. Prosperity prevents you from drawing cards. Well, basically, if you have drawn cards, you can't activate Pot of Prosperity. And in a competitive sense, I value for the fact that digging through 6 is a lot more useful than just drawing 2. For the most part, yeah. So, yeah, Pot of Prosperities, if you got them, play it. You can play Extravagance, but if you're playing Extravagance, I would highly recommend playing, bumping up, like, Knowledge more so. But, yeah, Pot of Prosperities, if you have them, I don't have them at the moment. Because the deck is pretty bad at, like, to be able to set up boards, it can't play against boards full of monsters, so I would be playing triple Dark Ruler No More and triple Mystic Mine. Now, this is simply because if I was to playing Mine, it's so that you lock out the board, don't get ashed and pass turn. You can at least play through, try and summon World of Prophecy, and blow up the entire field. That's literally what it's there for. But yeah, the deck is it's a very old deck from 2012, from like back in Abyss Rising, and Return of Duelist. It's a slow deck. You do need to compensate this by playing these board negate cards. For the rest of the remaining spells, the one called by Grave, if you get ashed, it's game over. You get Drolled, yeah, that's even more so, but no one's playing Droll. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And lastly, this is 2 Impalm. Now, these can be also any other hand traps, as I mentioned, alongside with Ash. This could also be like Cosmic Cyclones in the if you need to main some sort of back row destruction, mainly if anti-spell fragrance is becoming more of a thing. But even so, this is just hand trap space for you to basically play. As for the extra deck can be very flexible for whatever you want, because you rarely go into your ranks, you rarely go into links. This can be a whole bunch of Reaper targets if you so wish to, and yeah, there's not really much to say on that part. Like, my general recommendation is you can generally easily go into rank 7s. Rarely often you go into any of like link plays, because you're basically a control deck, and that's why prosperity is or extravagance can effectively work in this deck for the build. So that will be it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I have, as you can see, had to cut for me personally. I had to cut a lot of my fun tech to play, just so you can compensate to at least play in a local setting. It's so that you don't just go normal summon magician, get ashed, and pass turn, and you can't really do anything else aside from that. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, guys, happy dueling!